Hey guys, welcome to the next tutorial in ethical hacking and penetration testing. So in the previous tutorial I showed you how to go and install the Kali Linux. I'll continue with the installation of Windows 7 in this version, and I'll go and select install now. And by the time it gets installed, I'll also go ahead and show you some specific things as to what okay, so before I proceed, we have it over here. I would be installing the 32-bit file, and let's use Ultimate. It has everything, Windows 7 Ultimate activated, 32-bit, perfect. And yes, I accept. Advanced, and yes, perfect, next. Okay, so till the time it gets installed, let's see where we have on our Kali Linux. Okay, it will take another 5 minutes, I believe, to install. So by the time till this gets installed, let's talk about ethical hacking. So computer attacks have been that targeted undisclosed vulnerabilities are more common, and they last longer than many security researchers previously thought. So there is something called as zero-day attack nowadays, which has become more popular. The typical zero-day attack, by definition, says that it exploits software flaws before they are publicly disclosed. That means it lasts on an average of around let's say 300 days, with some lasting as 2.5 years as well. So zero-day attacks are meaner, and they are more rampant than you can ever think of. So you can say that researchers said that their findings suggest that this can be much danger than the normal. And zero-day attacks are difficult to prevent because they exploit unknown vulnerabilities for which there are no patches, no antivirus, or not even intrusion detection signatures. The one of the most famous virus that was created till now was the Stuxnet malware, which went ahead and you can say as it disabled the whole of nuclear research center of Iran. So it seems that as long as the software will have bugs and the development of exploits for new vulnerabilities will be a profitable activity, it will be exposed to zero-day attacks. So there's some kind of viruses that you cannot go ahead and prevent it. So you need to make sure that whatever you're installing is foolproof, because it cannot be foolproof, but still you need to know that what you are trying to install and where you're going to connect. However, it is doubtful that repacking alone can account for an increase up to 5 orders of magnitude, but still more likely this increase in result of extensive use of virus be proven that there are exploits in other malware as well. That means you can still go ahead and exploit a virus as well. So it is important to bear in mind before learning ethical hacking that attackers break into systems for various purposes. Therefore, it is important to comprehend how malicious hackers exploit systems and the probable reasons behind the attack. So if you know what you're doing, it's fine, but there are some people who don't know what they're doing, so it will be very hard for you to go and actually trace them. Ethical hacking is the process of checking and testing the organization network for possible loopholes and vulnerabilities. And that's what you would be doing once you go and learn this. The individuals or experts who perform ethical hacking are called as white hats. They perform hacking in ethical ways without causing any damage to computer system, and thereby increasing the security parameter of an organization. There are different types of hackers, some called as white hats, black hats, and there are even grey hat hackers. White hats are the people who do it for good. Black hats, obviously you must have guessed it right, that yes, they are the bad guys. And there are some people called as grey hat hackers. They can be called as hacktivists as well, or something like that. So we would be thinking in this tutorial as to how a black hat goes ahead and hacks into system, and the same way we would be using. But just in mind, make sure that just by learning Kali Linux alone, it won't make you some kind of a very genius person, because there are people who go ahead and sit months and years to go ahead and create a single exploit, and that exploit can straight away go ahead and let's say make your foolproof plan full of loopholes. So you cannot expect everything to be the best way. So you need to go ahead and keep yourself under testing. You need to go ahead and test each and everything that you have. You need to go ahead and keep learning yourself. That's how it will work. So there is one question though, that why do people go ahead and hack other people's stuff? So in these tutorials further on, I would be using the specific terminologies which would be very much necessary for you to understand. So the first thing would be the hack value, and the hack value is a notion among all hackers that something is worth doing which is interesting. And hackers might feel that breaking down the toughest network security might give them great satisfaction, and that is something they have accomplished. Not everyone could do. That can be one of the reasons why they hack. Or another thing is an exploit. Exploit is defined as a way to breach security on an IT system through vulnerability. Vulnerability is a weakness in design and implementation error that can lead to unexpected or undesirable event. Let's say you have not yet patched your Windows 7 version or the Windows 8 version, or so that means that there can be a loophole in your security and it can still be hacked. And at that point of time, malicious hackers create exploits, or you can say as viruses, and those viruses and exploits go ahead and harm your system. Then they have zero-day attacks. Zero-day attacks are those that means they have not even known to normal people that okay, these are the kind of exploits that are there. And there's something also called as daisy chaining. Attackers who get away with database theft usually complete their task and backtrack to cover their tracks by destroying logs. The attackers gain control of other systems and use them for malicious activities. It becomes difficult to identify these attackers as they use other systems to perform illegal activities than using their own. And the same can be done through Kali Linux. So let's check if, okay, so we have our Kali Linux installed. So let's go ahead and check it over here. Use a network mirror, no. And it will take hardly a few minutes to go and install this. It's almost over. Same over here. So let's wait till these things get installed. So it seems like our Windows 7 has started, and make sure that you install the VMware tools before you go ahead and start anything, practicing anything. The reason being that we need VMware tools for lots of things. That's the reason. Okay, perfect. Let's wait till this gets started. Seems like Windows 7 has started. Where are we on Kali Linux? It's still trying to configure the package manager. Yes, seems like our Kali Linux is back on track. So install the grub boot record, and in case you don't know what grub is, you need to go ahead and select yes always, because if you're trying to dual boot sometime later on, then you will surely need the grub bootloader. That's why. So, and the things that we would be learning in Kali Linux would be information gathering, sniffing, spoofing, eavesdropping, session hijacking, MITM, that's man in the middle attack or monkey in the middle attacks, SQL injection, ARP poisoning, and a lot of password based attacks. We'd also go ahead and use the malwares that we have inbuilt inside. I'll select continue. Then we will target the footprinting and DDoS attacks, that's distributed denial of service attacks and denial of service attacks. We will also be going ahead and backdooring everything, so that in case due to some reason if we lose our connection, we will still be able to enter our own operating system or our target system. So I believe that's getting installed. So let's check. Perfect. Seems like our Windows version is starting. Okay, perfect. So this is how we can go and install the operating systems. So that is it for this tutorial, and in the next tutorial I'll be going and letting you know as to how we can go ahead and start them and configure them.